Hello people, I am Sky Demolisher and welcome back for another From the Collection Fridays, a series where I take things from my collection and show it to you, my viewers. And this week it is the Halo 4 game guide. Now, I figured I'd do another book because I haven't done a book in ages, and I know that it would be kind of weird to do a game guide, but this is like the hardbound game guide, so I figured it actually fits as a really nice piece of memorabilia and stuff. So this is less about it being a game guide and more that it's just a Halo 4 collectible that I own. So yeah, it's a hardbound book. So you get a really nice front cover. Obviously the from Halo 4, blanking on the name. On the back it's very hard to see, but if I shine it like that you can see how there's lining in it, and it's the same thing with this one, so super duper shiny. Now the book actually comes with a bunch of maps too, which I had been storing in the front, which is why my book is slightly sort of curved. That and the fact that it's sat with, I think, a heavier book on top of it when I moved. So yeah, anyway, so you get a bunch of maps. So you get the map for Adrift, and then on the back it gives you tips, and then for Vortex, and this sort of shows you where the lifts are and tunnels and stuff. There's one for Solace, one for Ragnarok, one for Meltdown, one for Longbow, one for Haven. So I mean, these are nice printed card as well, so you could frame them. Exile and Complex. So I didn't count how many it was, but however many that is, that's how many you get, and you could put them in an A4 frame and put them on your wall and they would look pretty cool. Anyway, as for the book, so nice hardbound, and what I mean, you can see that there is a curve in it. To open it up, you've got the UNSC logo. Might have to angle it back a bit, and then you get a nice, I'm pretty sure the world was called Requiem. It's been a while since I played Halo 4. I say a while, couple months, maybe months, 2 months maybe. So yeah, you get some nice artwork in it, and then of course yeah, come what may, all bad fortune is to be conquered by endurance, Virgil. Front blurb thing by Frank O'Connor from 343, and then you get your contents. So you'll get a guide and overview sort of thing, a welcome to Halo 4. It tells you about the other games. And then you get characters, so there's some really nice stills from the game, and Cortana, Andrew Del Rio, might need to adjust the camera slightly, and Commander Thomas Lasky, Commander Palmer, Tilson and Halsey. Gives you a thing on basic training, so more cool artwork. The odd thing here is that is the 360 controller, so sorry if I bring it forward. So back in 360, so skip ahead a bit. Yeah, more intel. So you'll go through the weapons. It gives you tips about using the weapons. And just basic details for the using of them, and it's not just UNSC, you get into the Covenant stuff as well. So including like the shade turret, the suppressor, and then there's a list of the armor abilities and stuff, and then you get into your enemy types. I go back a little bit. You start with like the grunts, hunters, Prometheans, and elites, knights, sort of thing. Vehicles that are in it, including the broadsword and the mammoth, the wraith and the ghost. Skip ahead again. It gives you tips for the campaign, so there's a full-on thing about the campaign plus like maps, and then it's you've got little stills from the levels and tells you about the enemy encounters that you're going to have. Skip way ahead. Size matters. So this is still, like, you can probably see how much I went forward. This is about getting the designator and the campaign, second gun sort of thing. So like quite a bit of this is campaign, like there's still campaign. Then it gets into the multiplayer, so you can see the infinity there. Overview, it tells you about the medals, like how many points they are, blah blah blah, commendations, Spartan points, emblems and stuff, Promethean vision, the jetpack, regeneration fields, thruster packs, more cool artwork. So like it's a really cool book just to have if you enjoy Halo and stuff, and then like you get more stuff about Affinity in there, and then it will get into the appendix. So the appendix is basically like all the details, in a smaller way, and then advertising, waypoint, behind the scenes at 343. So get about building the team, and the developer interview, questions and answers from the developers and stuff, all that sort of stuff. So I think when this originally got released, it was probably around $100, but I got it on clearance at EB Games for like $20, I think it was, and I mean you can see like it's reflecting me. So all around, I actually think I'll just bring this back. I think it's a really neat book to have, and like a great piece of memorabilia, and it's a good source for information if you like the Halo universe sort of thing. It's not like an encyclopedia, but it I think helps with your immersion in the game, and it's really good to be able to read tips on how to do things, or whatever, without the pressure of other players that might be a bit disgruntled with you as you're learning the ropes and all of that. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this, and until next time, take care of yourselves. Bye.